Hi, Michael Nemi here of Walton Community TV. I've been exploring the last 3 mornings at low tide. I've been going between Groyne 102 all the way up towards Cobbles Point. And the reason I'm doing this is because at a recent meeting of an emergency planning meeting at the District Council, East Suffolk District Council now, this mighty organisation that's got the longest sea frontage probably in the UK. Evidence was being presented and advice was given by officers to the committee with regards to the functioning of our beach hut system and the fact that there's going to be a need apparently to evict 44. So the whole thing was providing 4 additional pitches which would give them somewhere to go. The whole meeting was a bit of a shambles, but what intrigued me was we had 2 officers who were on Zoom from Lowestoft telling us all about our beach. And I thought that was rather interesting. I don't know whether they had personal knowledge of it or not, but the lady sort of implied that no, it wasn't good for beach huts, but it was good for a functioning beach because you could actually access it on the steps that existed. And that seemed a bit thin for a beach. There was the question was repeated by a councillor saying, is the sea defence scheme that we spent £10 million on functioning or has it failed?
Councillor Deacon.
Yeah, thank you. This is really a question of going back right from the start and to why the beach huts at Spa were actually placed on the promenade in the first place. I seem to remember that several years ago we paid an awful lot of money to have fresh measures put in place to stabilise our beach, and the beach was refurbished. Is this an admission that those measures were, in fact, had failed?
You can't hear you very well. That's right. Did you hear that all right, Laura?
I did, yes. I mean, in terms of the beach replenishment at the spa, I mean, this is something that coastal management do, and they have said that they maintain it as an amenity beach. An amenity beach is for all users. Obviously, the issue we have of getting beach huts back onto sand platforms there is having enough material to create a platform that sits 1 centimetre or less below the height of the prom. Obviously, in that location at the spa, there are steps down and ramps down to the beach, no matter what level it is. So, and from that point of view, it is not suitable for beach huts, but it's obviously amenity beach for all other beach users. In terms of obviously the site at Clifflands, it is a high beach in that current location, and obviously the step down is minimal. So we have the sand platform, we have the sand available to create that flat, stable platform for huts to go onto.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know whether you actually heard me or not, but what I said was, is this an admission of a failure of the system that we had installed several years ago?
It's not material to
But I think it is actually. I'm asking why are the...
I don't know if it's for the officer to have to answer that question.
Who else would I ask?
I think it's unfair to ask the officer that question.
That's a key question.
Andy? Oh, Andy's here. Andy, can you answer that question?
And another gentleman popped up and he sort of made the claim that the beach material existed between the groins.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I mean, I think I'll answer it quite simply by saying no, it isn't. It's a reaction to changing circumstances. The building of the beach platform worked well, and it worked well for some time whilst there was sufficient beach material far enough, up the beach within the groins. There are people who know more about this than I do, but my understanding is that the beach material has now moved further offshore, still between the groins, but it's way offshore. So there is not enough material to build the annual platform, and that's the problem. So it isn't failure, it's a reaction to changing circumstance.
That's why I went there specifically. at low tide. And do you know, I've got a report, I didn't find this beach material. You've actually got it 2 foot below the prom edge, and then it linearly goes into the sea. There is no spare surplus material floating around between the groin that hasn't deposited itself at the top of that particular groin field. So I'm somewhat confused as to what the officer meant, but what I think is quite clear is what we were promised when they went forward with the building of the rock groins all the way along the sort of main resort beach frontage in 2011 at a price of £10 million, was that this design would actually grow our beaches. Well, sadly, it seems definitely to have failed. So what I really need to know is, if we actually had the beach material somewhere, should we actually put it back on the beach? And that raises another question. One of the differences that has occurred since the building is the draft of vessels coming into Felixstowe port has got deeper and deeper because the container ships have got bigger and bigger, necessitating a deeper dredging of the channel out to sea for those ships to access the port. Now, there is, as you know, as well as the north-south main drift, there's a little bit of south-north drift which used to bring some material back onto our beaches. One would assume with this much deeper trench, the probability of any of that stuff that's got itself over to Essex side ever coming back is now very remote. So perhaps we should be looking at a different type of defences, something whereby we create some sort of partial submerged breakwater offshore, so the sand that we did recharge the beach with, sand and shingle, stays there. A little like Bournemouth. If you go to Bournemouth, you will see they have wooden groins all the way along its frontage, and what they have is a deal with Christchurch which has regular dredging, and the material from there comes back onto the beach of Bournemouth. So I really think East Suffolk District Council needs to revisit this whole process of protecting and providing beautiful beaches both for ourselves, our visitors and our tourists. Thank you very much.